One thing about being an artist, making stuff out of found objects, you always got to be on the lookout to find something. And this time of year is great. There's no leaves, everything is pretty bare, and you can spot last year's bird nest really easily. So whenever I'm cruising the roads, I'm always scanning the bushes for bird's nests, or I'm out riding my horse, four-wheeler, snow machine, whatever. It's pretty cool. See, I was coming back from skiing the other day, and just whoosh, there it is, the little sparrow nest, screaming at me right from an elderberry bush. So I'm going to harvest it and put it inside of a basket and give it a whole new life. First thing I do is just kind of look at it and see if it's any good. And you know, sometimes that's what happens. That one was obviously old, and with probably more mud in it there than there was straw. But you know what? For every one I ruin, I save a bunch. So that's the way it goes. Yeah. Wouldn't have worked anyway. I got a bunch at home. I'll go look for some more. I'll go over to East Hill and get that one. That was an unexpected little turn, huh? Yeah. So this is where I keep some of the bird's nests I've found over the years. Wasp nests, bird nests, little sparrow nests, robin nests. It's pretty hard to collect some of these. Some of them fall apart, others keep a long time. Other treasures. Now this, I mean, the thing I love about bird's nests is just you see what they're made out of. Little bits of moss, little bits of moose hair. Sometimes you'll find horse hair in them if they're, you know, if the nest comes from a pasture. So I'll take these nests and I'll put them in a bowl and make them kind of wet so they kind of re-glue themselves together. Then I'll put a little like this right here. So this just kind of helps give it a shape. Well, it ain't coming out of there today. Now I'll get it out some other time, but all these little bird's nests. And my sister once watched a bird right outside her window 3 feet away making a nest, and she'd put a bunch of stuff in a little crotch of a tree, and then it would get in the nest and it would spin around and bring in some more straw, spin around. So every time it put some more straw in the nest, this bird just spun around, and before you know it, she had a round nest. So sometimes I'll take a ball about the right size, and I'll just kind of make this nest wet, and then I'll just kind of reshape it just a little bit. But a lot of them you don't have to put much of a different shape on at all. So I started a basket in the Adirondacks with these pine roots. And I just left, now this is an old basket that I made that I had to take apart, where you just leave everything on the outside instead of having a smooth finish like this and tucking your ends in. You leave all the ends tucking out so you can make a wild fuzzy look. So I was going to make a basket with all of this on the outside. So I started this basket in the Adirondacks, and it looked something like this when I came home. All of these spokes, or the warps you can call them, were all still sticking up in the air. So when I got here, I put in some additional black willow spokes beside each one of the pine spokes. So now I had twice as many as I did before to do the final wrap. So about 3 years it was sitting around, dry, squashed. Finally I got it wet, reshaped it, and this is now the finished product. All of these little wild branches were just left sticking out, and the bigger parts of the branches here, or the roots, went inside. And then when I got this done, I thought, this looks like a bird's nest. So I went and got one of my bird's nests and I put it inside of the basket. And this is a ball I had inside of there, so while I was working the nest into the basket, it didn't get squashed, so it kind of kept its shape. I'll put a little olive oil on it. Thank you very much, Mr. Olive Tree. And now I got the black of the willow from Alaska. I got the blonde of the pine from the Adirondacks. I got my contribution. I got the bird's contribution. This, ladies and gentlemen, isn't just art. This is like a fusion, a collaboration between Alaska and New York State, between Mr. Bird and Mr. Kilcher. Okay, the ball deserves a little bit of credit too, but I love this kind of thing. To me, this is just my idea of art.